took your time to get into like proper teams. He was also like back and forth with some teams. Do you think you both benefited a little bit from getting older, and your journeys are kind of similar, I think?
Me, it depends. Like overall, I can speak only for me personally. Like for him, I cannot like really speak. But for me personally, I know outside of CS, yes, for sure. But for CS right now, for example, I can maintain high level and all those stuff. Like I feel like I'm really fucking good. I know. But age is like big part, seems like, for organizations. Even though I know I feel so fresh after this break actually, and yeah, for me it's pretty fine. I think only the thing is that age it's matter. I think for for organizations that is a bit weird, because I know my level, my mindset, it's on such a high maintenance. So yeah.
So even though you're 25 years old, you're still very good. 26 years.
When I shave, it's like 20, 21. Yeah.
Okay, and then last question. You're also back with Red Star, a guy you played in many teams with. You also almost qualified for a major with this guy a couple of years ago, a hurtful one to miss. Yeah. So what this guy? You guys seem to miss each other every time you're not together.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. He's like, I guess there are people who get one friend and they ride with him towards the career. Let's keep it like this. Yeah. So I know it's super good feeling together. We know each other. We know how to play together outside the server is cool. Just he's like Lil bro.
Well, I hope the matchup, the guys together.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys will benefit from each other, and good luck in your next game, and we'll be back to the casters.
They certainly look like they've been benefiting from being back in the server together. The recent performances for both Red Star and Han have been phenomenal since this roster came together, right? Both averaging around that 1.15 kind of mark over this calendar year. And it's really great to have Han back in the server after, what, a year and a half, I think, since it's kind of last was grinding it up in Tier 2. So really cool to have him back in this team. Very exciting. We can see that Stake favours ACEND to take this series. It is fairly fine margins. Brute were the underdogs in the series earlier as well, so they will find themselves in that position here. But ACEND definitely one of the favourites when I kind of looked at all of the teams that would have been at this event, just because of the form they're at, where they've been playing. They're playing a lot of lands, came second very recently at Draculan. Like, they've been putting out some very solid performances, and it feels like they're really building up.
Yeah, it does. I definitely have ACEND as firm favourites in this series just because of how good Han and Red Star are. And I really liked the question that Coach DP posed where he said, look, what have you learned from your time away? And Han with a very measured, very mature response, because I think he knows, and there was some community sort of outreach about maybe like his attitude a little bit in teams. So for him to actually take a step back, reflect on that, and has now come into this, I think, with a renewed personality, I think that's going to do ACEND the world of good, and it certainly helps when he's putting down his numbers. Also, young age for an AWPer, like, you're 26, bro. Like, come on now. Like, you've got plenty of time still in the saddle. This is the best Bulgarian team currently that I think has maybe ever existed, really, especially in Counter-Strike 2. And we've spoken a lot about Red Star, spoken a little bit about Han as well. Kaluba was the best performing player in the server, and ever since Red Star has come in, it's been really interesting just thinking about ACEND, because it was Kaluba quite a lot. He was delivering an awful lot, I think, for this team. And when Red Star came in, it felt like some of the roles were potentially overlapping a little bit. So to see him step up, have that resurgence, is very important to me when I look at this ACEND, because we know the floor is there. It's just how high the ceiling can go as Spellan puts on the shades. He's ready to work.
The age thing is really funny because you just had like Safe get signed by Pain, you know, again at 31. It's like, yeah, all right, you know, if you've got it, you've got it. And I think Han's definitely got it. It seems very exciting on the ACEND side. But Brute, we just got to see them in the server, and they brought the funnest Counter-Strike I think we've had so far. Pure chaos in that series, verse 9. A-Kit, absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait for this head-to-head of him versus Han. I think it's going to be very explosive here, just with the way A-Kit's playing at the moment. We heard in that interview, the post-game interview with Coach GP, just how much freedom that A-Kit's been given at the moment. You know, he's a very vocal player. He's been given a lot of space to be able to dictate the mid-round, dictate how he wants to approach it with the AWPer, and with the AWP, and that's really paying off in the server. So I think it's going to be really fun watching these two teams clash.
Here's the thing. It's that Brute, I think, got by against 9 by creating all of that chaos. Ascend are a team that absolutely thrive within chaos. And I think that's where stylistically these teams mismatch a little bit. And we saw Nubik, his calls, his read of the game, especially against roles, he's now got to do that against Spellan. And I think that's going to probably be his trickiest task, especially when it comes to the mid-round. When I just take a look at these two head-to-head, that's where I think there's going to be a big clash, because Brute will want to get scrappy. Ascend are a team that are more than happy to get down and dirty and just roll around in the mud with you. You can see those stake cards, already mentioned them, but it's important to clarify. Ascend, heavy favourites again, and Brute playing as that underdog. They'll remove Ancient.
Vito's
Ascend
tough,
will
yeah.
get rid of Nuke. Yeah, where does this go?
Brute have been leading into Dust 2, right? So that wouldn't be surprising here. But this is an Ascend map through and through. Like, this isn't going to be at all discomforting for them. They absolutely love Dust 2. They've played it so much. They pick into the Mirage, another map that they pick into this whenever it's available. Where do you go for the decider? Cash will be banned out here by Ascend, which means we'll be left with an Anubis as our decider. These are 3 maps that I think Ascend are going to be more than happy to take it. The Anubis is a little bit, I don't know, I'm not sure how they're going to look there. They've not played a great deal, and it's been mixed results there in the maps they've had, at least recently. But they started the year very strong on Anubis. Vito, heavily in Ascend's favour.
It is, but I will say Dust 2 has been a little bit of shaky ground for Ascend recently. I remember watching them at the BC Game LAN, and their T side really leaves a lot to be desired, and I hope they've had time to work on that properly, because that's where Brute can certainly punish. And I do like the pick of the Dust 2. Makes sense. As you say, they do pick into it quite a lot. They beat 9 on it earlier, so you head back into this. I think for Mirage, that's very safe territory for Ascend. It's just whether they can figure out this T side on Dust 2. That's the big caveat for me when I take a look at Ascend on D2. But you imagine that they've got the players to do it, like Red Star, Han, Kaluba, that they should be really well versed on a Dust 2 T side, and yet for whatever reason it just isn't quite clicking. And I think maybe that's where Nubik could have the mental edge. We saw AKIT play very well on this map, but we got rough showings out of Mikey and out of HFAR. The Riflers need to be on point here on Dust 2, because that is a leak that potentially can't be plugged.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a very different opponent here than you did against 9, and that was a very close affair. To be fair to Brute, they did lose the pistol rounds, right? So 9 had all the advantages kind of in the early stages, so I think that scoreline maybe doesn't quite tell the full story, but very much still a very closely contested affair. And if Ascend are coming shooting hard, it's going to be tricky. They did have some struggles in that series first 66, surprisingly, like that Inferno, their map pick. It took them way too long to get going on that T side. Like they only got 5 rounds in the end, but it was a 1-6 scoreline. Like they were really in a difficult position. They brought it back shore and then had a lights out CT side. But I'm surprised at these T side struggles across a lot of maps. But they don't have to worry about that right now. They get the CT side start on Dust 2.
Let's see it then. Our winners match here in Group C. Winner straight through to the playoffs. Stake. They do believe that Ascend are going to take Dust 2. If you sign up and deposit $20 with the code PULSE35, you get a $5 reload every day for 7 days, as Red Star stares intently at this mid-smoke. And nearly had the opportunity on towards Nubik. The spam not quite connecting, and now Brute scale short.
You got a classic setup here, though. Spellan's been baited in Goose, and then you got 2 players basically just focused on this cross. Flashbang actually getting poised to set up Han. Waiting for the moment to strike. Now that should be coming over at any second, and then 1 player stuck, but the kills don't come from sight. They come in from elsewhere. Doolies,
Wow.
Pistols, all waiting in, and it's a clean sweep. Han with 2, and nothing found here for Brute.
Very loud after the pistol, and we saw Brute giving it to 9. 9 were giving it back a little bit. Ascend are gonna get loud. They've been to many lands over the last year, and they've been, to be honest, dominating most of them. It's been really nice to see them just have these continued playoff success stories. Lovely setup there. Spellan, the one that throws the utility, is the one that actually ends up with the multi. It's Han's double. It's Brute jumping, but not for joy. Just for information as they fall eco and they hope to get a bomb down.
Listen, they're good at their ecos. Red start. Yeah, he's not going to take any chances. Han in the prime position to build some bank. Get that alt money early. And get two. And then the strike through from Red Star. It's a couple of frags, but it's only the SMGs that fall. And as long as you keep it that way, you're okay.
Where are you off to, Nubik? Where are we going here with 20 HP? Rice smile across his face as he tries to potentially outmaneuver his opponents. And he has to be fair. It's only if Scrimo checks the long line. And I would say there's a weird world in which Nubik can catch him off, but as soon as I think about that, Spellan tells Scrimo to have a little glance. And he will. Instant headshot. Clean, and you're right, only the SMGs being lost. Also, the SMGs that were collected by Brute didn't find their purchase. So it's not like they earned really any money from that round. It's about as clean as you could get here for ACEND, and now the first gun round is going to end. There's an AWP unless A-Kit goes glass cannon, so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, to wield his freely. Won't get that contest out towards long. Very much just the slow default here. Get a feel for what ACEND want to throw at you. A boost up for Scrimo. That's going to
out of Spellan. It's basically 300 damage in 2 HEs. Scrimo now waiting, trying to deal with this long lurk. Isn't able to, but Spellan just keeps finding kills. Han then steps back in. A 4 versus 2 and 31 HP on these players. And it feels unlikely and unreasonable to expect too much out of Brute. And in fact, Zedco can't even get rid of Spellan.
Guys, don't come short anymore!
yeah, definitely no cover shots. Spellan had that unlocked. That was beautiful. Nade timings couldn't have been better. First one softens them up. Second one is devastating, and you just feel so limp trying to get through. Look at the HP that was remaining. Defensive smoke plays around it. Spellan wins that round basically off utility. Brute get very little done. 3 rounds in, 3 kills. This one's going to be Tech 9s. Ooh, this timing looks like it could be okay. Red Star needs to be aware. Looked like he was caught at the wheel. Not paying attention with his hands upon it. Kaluba, he'll step in. He'll bail them out.
Timing.
And it's all fine.
Wow. Han, I think, gets very fortunate there because there was a real world that HFAR was holding him as he walks through that smoke. A-Kit, yet to get a frag. We'll scoop up a HE. But in terms of doing an awful lot, I don't think so. Nice try in getting the AWP. But that was a double entry. Rescued by Kaluba. Scary, scary moment. But that's nice. That's a good moment here, I think, for Brute as they take this time out because they're just letting ACEND know, look, we will try and rush you. We will try and catch you off guard. An interesting thing I wanted to mention hilariously before those double kills came in on the eco is I was going to say I spoke a lot about ACEND being scrappy and they're more than happy to fight you in the mid round. But what really impresses me is specifically on the CT sides, why they have so much success is because of how good the fundamentals look. And I'm glad I didn't mention that immediately and then they get double entry'd. But I mean, they got caught with util out. But
Red Star was just not fully locked in. Like his crosshair wasn't quite on the angle, and it took a second to respond. So I think maybe a conversation was happening at the time. That's a wake-up call.
It should be.
A good round for it to come.
Oh, Han's getting a little bit inquisitive. It's actually going to be Red Star that finds A-Kit. So this double AWP's got success. You don't know about Han. Red Star loves wielding this secondary sniper on Dust too. And there you go. Not quite the clean kill, but Mikey still won't be happy with that. Living on a sliver. And he's dead.
And also did so much damage to the kneecaps of Zedco. Fantastic early aggressive moves, and now you got Red Star to deal with. He is very open, but he's got a support from Spellan, and oh, missed chance. Grimro gets rid of the long player, so it's all fine. Clean kills, and the secondary AWP comes through, and immediately success.
Immediately success, but also, again, it's just further damage with this utility. It feels like every round a grenade is doing over 50 damage, or at least confirming a kill. This is so difficult to work in, and I like the step up here for ACEND. They're almost pushing that defensive line up with the secondary AWP. Trying to get active, trying to disrupt the game plan early. That comes in on that second gun round. Lack of bomb plants really starting to add up here as well for Brute. They're just in this limbo. Now back down to the Tech 9s and maybe a pacier play, but the main hit is going to come out through long. So that means that Scrimmo has got a job to do.
It's pretty decent so far out towards long. Has won that engagement more often than not. Actually, this is a very lightly defended A bomb site. Spellan falls off, so Han a bit on his plate as well. Won't be able to help out Scrimmo, but maybe he doesn't need it. Clean first kill, fall back in, follow through sharp as well. Scrimmo doesn't need the help. Handles all three, and now this final player confirms Zedco straight into Han. It's a light setup on A, but they make light work of it.
I love Spellan. Spellan is such a showman as well. You saw it in the hero shots where he's just put on the sunglasses. Great work out of Scrimmo. Massive hold out towards long. 7-1 is Scrimmo. We love Scrimmo over here in the UK as well. Played on Viperio a little bit.
You guys will claim anything.
Hey. Of course. He's also just a lovely bloke. Met him a few times at various lands in the UK and beyond. Nice dude. So yeah, we'll claim him.
Alright, well, he's having a fantastic time out towards long. So that was against Tech 9s, but still made it very convincing. A-Kit AWP hyped up his impact, and he finds it immediately. Kluber caught on the cross.
There's still double AWP in this. Look at Han. He's really got to be careful of this timing, potentially in tunnels. But now he looks back at it. He's going to drop the incendiary so he can continue to peek in top middle, hoping, praying that A-Kit pokes his head round this corner. That doesn't happen. Instead, the AWPer is now regrouping with his team. Han's got a lovely line, but he just takes the shot to fall out. Meanwhile, at long, Scrimmo might have an opportunity on HVAC.
Needs a bit off the mark there to get the kill. Yeah, Scrimmo in the 5-on-4, feel like he needs to take some space and he's going to get caught out. It looks like they're just getting picked across the map in this round. Han removed. Red Star solo B with the AWP. He's found the first kill. In fact, he's going to swap to the AK. That's the multi-kill possibility. 2 players spotted and still standing, still fighting. Red
No
Star
way.
completely on his own, and they're coming towards him. A push around the corner, and A-Kit gets the critical kill. Zedko was low, so that was so needed. Now let's maybe get to entice Spellan to get this one a look in. Or maybe not. Damage. Go all the way through to backyard. Might be the play here.
Yeah, this would be nice for Spellan if he's able to grab a couple of exits on the way out. Definitely get rid of H there, if H was not careful. It doesn't matter about losing the double AWP. I mean, maybe you can get aid kits if they decide to reset through tunnels. Because H is going to deem all of this clear. Yeah, Zedko's coming back now. As to the AWP, got to clear Spellan. He holds the spray, but only able to get 1 kill. So AWP maintained for Brew. And a clever round pushing mid and just catching ACEND off guard.
Yeah, that was just like 3 instant picks, right? Obviously the first one comes through from the AWP, but then mid doors and long happen at the same time. You really thought Red Star was going to do something there. When he gets that second kill, it's like, alright, this is now coming together. Couldn't find that kill onto the AWP though. A-Kit saves the round.
It's wild that he swings and not Zedko first, though. Like, you kind of want the low HP player to go round the corner so you can actually get a direct line, but no, A-Kit just takes all the responsibility. If he misses that shot, Red Star will have cleaned house, and he would have knocked down that B attack to smithereens. Can't believe he just repeats Nubik like that. It's just absurd out of Red Star. I remember the T side of Dust 2 as well, though, for Brew against 9. And 9 were resetting them, were pinning them back. They can't allow that to happen again. They eventually were able to rebuild. But this scoreline feels like too far gone if it reads 7-1. And actually, very similarly to when they won the round against 9, they now look to go in B. So that means that Han's here with the AWP.
Easy first kill for his timing to strike. Oh, and it's exceptional. Stops his defensive util, and he's all fine. Perfect starting position for Han. Perfect kills, and Brood have to reassess.
Poor Kaluba. Feels like we've barely seen him actually defend B. Look at this push out Scrimmo. Nubik. There's no way he's ready for this. And he's able to get that double. That's so well played out of Scrimmo. A-Kit will get rid of Kaluba in the meanwhile. But there's no further say in this round, surely, for A-Kit. 35 seconds left. You have to go in towards mid, where there's 3 players lying in wait. You just got to save onto the AWP. What a perfect push out of Scrimmo.
Trigger discipline and rewarded for it. Great adjustment as well. A-Kit's been spotted. But Han's not going to go too far in the hunt. He'll just park up here, and this AWP will be held on to. Maybe? Maybe not, actually.
Don't peek this.
1, 2. Wait the second. Did he get him off time? I don't think so. But it's still the hunt, and it's still success.
It's still relevant. Like, he just doesn't have an AWP. Like, that's a massive scalp to take right at the very end of that round. I guess A-Kit's worried about the pressure coming in from spawn, because obviously Scrimmo got that double kill about 30 seconds ago. He does have money. Nail-biting stuff, but ACEND still 7-1 to the goods, and all the stresses about the T side might not need to worry. And you did almost foreshadow this, Lucy, to be fair. You're like, I don't need to worry, they're on the CT side first, and they've just started winning every single round, bar 1.
They're just all hitting their shots. Everyone is feeling like they're on fire. Well, we haven't got to see Kaluba. You mentioned that, right? He's there.
He hasn't been needed, bless him.
He's not been needed. He's not been needed. He did get picked by the AWP last round, but it was after Scrimmo had got the double. And he was the best performer earlier. So, you know, he's kind of done his job.
He's having a rest.
When he's called upon, he will step up. That smoke's not quite on the money.
I enjoyed watching Red Star. Oh, hold him for the run
Two
boost.
AWPs. Two
Yeah,
AWPs
there's not a
holding
whole lot
on.
you can do there.
It's like you're playing a pug game.
And they'd love that. Ascend would love for you to make it into a pug. Especially when they're hitting like this. Zedco needs to start warming up. Notice the grindstone. Missed shot on the first. That's another chance, and to be fair, has been given ample opportunity to hit the Deagle headshot, but no, it's another AWP kill for Ascend. And they really are living up to their name. This has been a lights-out CT side so far. Brute's map pick is falling away from them incredibly quickly. That was 4 AWP kills against an eco.
And no matter where you go, you're going to be facing an AWP. Right now, I'm going to go long. Smoke will allow them out. It's got to be the fallback. So Brute get the space, and oh, it's brief. Red Star was looking for that fight.
Such a wild angle to take with the AWP. He's just completely in the open, but I love it at the same time. That's the confidence that Ascend have got. Fun idea from Brute in this round that they take long, they then drop the progressive smoker and the utility, but there's no commitment off the back of it. All right, Kaluba, it's your time now.
Red Star's found the lurk. Kaluba needs to get this smoke down and live. Han's going to start to move over, and the smoke coming ahead is kind of giving him the signal. Great nade. Now Kaluba just tucks in. This position feels like it's good for 1 kill guaranteed. Han, we've already seen the damage he can do from this spot.
Got a molly
And
him.
he's going to come through. Molly, not in his position. And there we go. Kaluba gets his. The AWP now strikes, and it is only the AWP here, but maybe that's all they need. A-Kit locked out of the round, not being given the fight. It really is, but Han's ready then to greet him. These AWPs, they cannot get past them.
Well handled from Kaluba, as you say, but he drops his smoke as soon as he sees the lurk smoke timing, but I think he was always going to drop his smoke anyway, because what I was watching on the mini-map was really smart out of Ascend, because as soon as Red Star got the timing shot on the player out long on the lurk, you've then got Spellan pushing, or Scrimmo, sorry, pushing the issue round the corner. Oh, it's clear, don't worry, I don't see anyone else. Spellan then pushes short at the same time. Oh, short's clear, long's clear, has to be B. And that's why you get that reposition out of Han so quick.
Even that feels like a stretch at the moment with how things are going. They're just not finding any of the kills.
It's like, you know when you go to play like deathmatch and warm up for your games, and there's always just those AWPers that are just sat in the corner just killing you. That's what it feels like right now for Brute.
Han's got more kills than the entirety of Brute.
Wow. Oh yeah, they're on what, 14?
Yeah. Try it again. Kaluba, same position. Han here to support.
They're going to add mid into it.
There isn't support here, actually. So this is a great opportunity. Good round to call this. Han needs to find this kill, and he does. He's not missing a beat. Kaluba tucked in. Gets his. Looking to lock it down, but missed shot there from Han. Nubik tucked into the corner. Strikes, then Han.
Oh,
Overwhelmed.
Wow.
They managed to find their way in, but are they ready for Scrimmo? This timing looks good, but it is being held for. Oh, but he still adjusts. Still finds the headshot. Nubik's on 7 HP. This is on aid kit. He's found that first kill. Spellan coming through. A second element into the tunnels. Currently, that is being considered. The AWP is on the line. So for Spellan, he needs to quickly straight past this sniper, and he can't get it done.
Let's go!
This is a really nice mid to B adjustment being called in by Brute, but I tell you what, in the 2v2, as soon as Scrimmo gets that kill to make things even, he's got to wait for Spellan. He's got to wait for Spellan, they've got to go together. And I understand that if he thinks, oh, if I wait a little bit longer, then they know that we're both going to be coming in from tunnels, they've got to be considering mid, maybe I can hit this timing. In the same breath of that, Spellan can just get his knife out and sprint over. And at that point, because your positions are known, you can just strafe over the angle. I think by them going separately, that wasn't the right idea. But you can understand why they're doing it as well, because of the confidence. They're 9-1 up at that point. Great molly. Nubik forced into the fight, and actually, Spellan just doesn't give it to him.
Okay, Scrimmo does get his for free. Spam out, and then Spellan does win out that fight eventually into short. Last round started, technically, 3-on-5 as well for Brute. But they were already in the position to strike the bomb site. This time, these kills come early, and there's no advantage for Brute to try and take.
I like the boost. This is nice for Spellan. Especially as another smoke comes over, you can just see on the edge of it. This is wicked. You're already kicking them whilst they're down here, ACEND. The only space they've been able to somewhat reliably get has been B. You've got middle. So Zedko and Mikey are about to walk. And I would say, oh, Red Star's the only one here on B, but he isn't. Kaluba tucked in the corner. He's about to be mollied. Nice, though. Red Star and Spellan able to come in with kills. You should know about Kaluba, but this flashbang is really going to help him out. That is phenomenal. At Spellan, and ACEND will have double digits.
It's a dominant half, isn't it, from ACEND? Han having a brilliant time. Spellan's having a great time as well. Very happy with how things are going. Yeah, 17-3 is Han. Scrimmo, Spellan, Red Star, all with fantastic KDs. And those take odds more or less reflect the situation. This looks very comfortable for ACEND to take this.
Makes sense. Considering that Brute have just been struggling with pistols in general in the series today, you find it very unlikely that they're going to be able to rebound here. But let's see, you've got a nice setup here over at B. You've got a third player that can step in to support ACEND. They're just going to try and run the gauntlet. It's nice out of Nubik and Mikey. And they're not even considering the corners. That's very sloppy out of ACEND. They try and burst through, but they don't really have any utility to do it. So they try and go with firepower. It doesn't work, and Brute, for all intents and purposes, let's just sign off this round. It's going to be a third.
Couldn't get out of that smoke, could they?
No.
Like, so they were just walking to their death. Oh, Spellan, no bump. And everything's being considered. This isn't as tricksy as maybe he hopes.
Something for a USP. Hoping for a USP in spawn so we can maybe hit an instant headshot. I kind of rate it as Spellan, but unfortunately not to be. And no way into B for ACEND. Brute, necessary pistol. They shouldn't force this. They didn't get the bomb down. You've got plenty of rounds to play with.
I don't really need to force the issue here. So Brood will get a nice freebie gifted to them. ACEND will just look to draw it out a bit to get this util out of them and maybe catch the player off guard. Senko, he's looking for some confidence builders. Got his MP9. He's in a prime position to make some money with it. Ubik's doing the spot in towards short. Senko can then swing off that contact. Okay, there's the contact. Zedko. No. Oh.
Oh, Zedko. It's okay, buddy. It looks like the timing just wasn't there. Red Star will now try and find a kill. Maybe he can, to be fair to him. Nubik, oh, not overwhelmed. And between him and 8-Kit, they will mop up the rest of ACEND. But that was just the eco. Now we get the gun round. And now we probably get a pacier play out of ACEND. They love rushing long. They like instantly fighting it in towards B. They're a very, very aggressive T side.
At least you only lost the SMG there. But I feel bad for Zedko. Why didn't just get one, you know? 8-Kit's up. Oh, immediately takes that hunt. That was a scout, I believe. Doesn't even get a chance with it, so 8-Kit immediately showing this isn't going to be as easy as that first half.
There's a lot of players here as well. I love 8-Kit and his mobility in this round. Immediately taking long, trying to play anti-flash alongside HVA. Meanwhile, ACEND's just put a little bit of pressure in towards the middle of the map. Double flashbang through the mid doors. Red Star now looming, missed shot out of the AWP and a missed piece of utility. And you've heard the AWP. So Senko, do you know what? We'll go mid to B. The danger is that there's 3 players here.
Yeah, this is bait setup as well. This is going to be really difficult. You're never going to be expecting Nubik now. And yeah, he'll get 3. Perfectly baited. Then once again, have to pick up the pieces. In 1v4, it feels very difficult. There's a chance here. Is this timing? Repeat on a different angle. Great headshot. Can he do some more damage? They're going to quickly disengage to make that difficult for him. Maybe he just looks to hold on to the AK at this stage.
He should. He shouldn't even be attempting to cross long. That's a really cool round out of Brute because you've got the triple set up deliberately and all you want to do is have the AWP fire off and be as much of a nuisance as possible just to force you to walk straight in. Good call out of Nubik. That's the type of call that re-inspires a bit of belief into the match for Brute. And that also gives confidence in yourself. If you're Nubik. Brilliant setup. Great opener as well from 8-Kit. He's going to be needed in boatloads for Brute. As they do manage to at least get themselves to half the scoreline of ACEND. But I did say there are issues on the T side. However, if they can't close from being 10-2 up, then I will start to become extraordinarily concerned.
Yeah, Akik and Nubik have been very, very good. That was consistency across that opening series. You can rely on these 2 pieces at the moment.
That smoke has missed massively in short. There's a big gap on that right-hand side. Good news is that ACEND just can't really exploit it.
come into B. This feels like a good call. The AWP will be avoided. Zedko.
How'd you
We
get
need
in,
to
though?
step up here. They're just going to push through. Mikey, back. Side gets run down. Zedko, it's onto you. Can he get the multi? He does get 2. The bomb can be planted.
Look at
Super
Han.
Han just lurking out in the smoke. Now, they will be considering this. Maybe he can find his timing. No. Caught looking all over the place. Now, with just AKs, they need to fight their way out of this. You know, 2 players are here. 2 bits of util. Spellan expecting the swing from the door. Doesn't come. It's window. So they begin to scale over. And a great shot out of Spellan. Kaluba now chimes in. And A-Kit. He loses. His support has to bail. It's an unlikely round with the Tech 9s, but ACEND get it done.
Yeah, well played. And fair play for them bursting through the smoke. Also, look at the entry path and look at the way that is crafted. Spellan goes second. You got a massive wide swing out of one Tech 9. The other one goes in towards sight. It's really difficult just to find not only the AK, but multiple kills at once because your crosshair is just spraying back and forth. Lovely round out of ACEND. And I was really worried in the 2v3 because I know Spellan wasn't going to be affected by the utility. But I was thinking to myself, are they going to go and find a kill here? No, instead, the window player, the very first window player, just doesn't look into sight, looks directly down in the corner. That headshot is hard to hit out of Spellan and Kaluba, but they do it impressively. And you're right, a round out of nothing. That could potentially just end the map right here, right now, because if ACEND claim this, Brute are going to be broke.
You only got this sort of comeback. You can't be losing those sort of rounds. And that's a great way to get the opening pick. A boost up for Han and A-Kit. The biggest threat is removed. That opens up the map very early. A lot of possibilities as to where ACEND can take this. It's a 2-2 setup for the CTs.
It's going to be short. This is the first time we've seen ACEND actually go in towards Catwalk and just drop the utility and go. Flashbang over. How's that nade? Very good. Onto these players. HVA also will follow through with a multi. He does brilliantly. There's no lurk. There's nothing on offer over at long. Han will find Nubik at least. But a drop down. Oh. A shake of the head from Mikey, but at least he gets out alive. Zedko's nade won't finish off the job, but now ACEND are going to re-pivot back, go into HVAR. And Zedko might be on a quick flank, might have a very good timing. Mikey's a little bit concerned. Zedko paranoid about mid, so HVAR with 20 seconds left, just needs to hit this shot, but the AWP is walking on him. Oh, until it isn't.
Spellan gets the trade. Picks up the molly. That'll surely go into short. No, CT. So Zedko, he's got the timing, and it's not being considered. But they get back to sight. Bomb being planted. Now he's noted, and now it's only him. But a great nade comes over. Mikey, after death, gets the frag, and it's Han versus Zedko. Top versus bottom. And Han wins it out. Map point comes through. And with plenty of chances to take us too.
What a 1v1. Like, what a play from Han. He had to swing at that moment. It's so obvious that you normally play the headshot angle. So what does he do? Instead, he just goes wide, right into the open. Zedko didn't stand a chance. And it's Spellan that goes back and forth, wrestles with the idea in his head about going mid to B, then back to short. HVAR was doing an awful lot. He gets 3 kills in that round, and it's still not enough for Brute. And this force buy looks shaky. This map is slowly falling out of Brute's grasp. A-Kit will at least get close over at long, but Red Star and Scrimmo are both holding on. That's just not fair.
He also spammed down. It moves back into the spot that he just got mollied and spammed. A lot of utility on Nubik. He's kind of hoping he can force them into B. But you can just block off short, and, well, it might not even be required. They might just go into this anyway. Brute have the ideal setup. They've gotten exactly what they wanted, but they still need to do this with the lesser weapons.
They might just contact this. Yeah, they will. Oh, but the Incendiary very good. Are they able to get this trade? They're definitely not going to be ready for the other player. In at car. Red Star hits the headshot, and then Hahn burns alive Zedko. Spellan is also holding for this lurk. And where on earth is 8-Kit? 20 seconds left. In towards tunnels. He's only got a 5-7. And it feels like his life limited, and its time has run out. ACEND able to dominate Brute on Dust 2.
Yes, the right word for it. 10-2 first half. Some fight back for Brute in that second half. Helped out by the pistol, getting things going early, but it just felt like it was too little too late. Some of the individuals, some good moments out of ACEND. Nubik decided to step up as well, but they were just unplayable. Whereas ACEND, Hahn, 22 frags at the end. Spellan, Red Star, Scrimmo, no one really lacking there. It just felt like everyone was arriving with the firepower, and it was outclassing.
It was the double AWP CT side was just getting so much heavy lifting done. When you put yourselves in a position where you're 10-2 up on that defense, it feels like there will be a breakthrough round and then you can go. And that's exactly what happened there. It was Tech9's a mid to B and enough just to get ACEND over the line. The winners are with Coach DP.
Crazy shit, man. I just talked to Hahn before the game. What do you feed him?
I just gave him motivation. Yeah.
He talked about you guys being good friends. Are you happy to be back with the team on him?
Yeah, of course. Me and him, we go way back since Fint, and we just love to double up. If you noticed now as well, on those two, for example, we just buy 2 ups and it's very easy on CT.
And do you think it was a mistake for them to pick Dust?
I mean, I don't know, like statistically we're not very good on those two, but that's before we did some fixes and now it feels so much better, and I also buy the up more often, so I think it's fine.
Are we going to see this up on Mirage as well?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right, back to you guys. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Good luck.
I hope so, because Red Star was absolutely farming with it. I mean, Hahn dominated the scoreboard, but Red Star was having multi-kills constantly with that AWP. Like, it could have felt like he was the primary author with how he was playing with it.
He was very shy in that interview compared to how loud he was on the server. So yeah, just double up, it's fine, it's easy. It's nice that he addressed statistically, like they've been a little bit troublesome on that T side, and he says, look, we've gone through some fixes, it feels a lot more comfortable now. Mirage, a very similar map, I think, for ACEND, and in fact they're way better on it than Dust 2 normally, so this puts Brute in a lot of danger, but thankfully for them, they were able to win against 9 earlier, so I'm struggling to see a world in which Brute can come back into this series. I think it will take a lot. Maybe it will take a couple of eco-round victories like they got on Cash.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to do it. That'll be Mirage, then that's coming up after this.
An impressive Dust 2 from ACEND sees them 1 map up against Brute and 1 step closer to the playoffs here, and making it out of the group as the top dogs. We now go to a Mirage, which is going to be very tricky for Brute because ACEND, this is their map. This is the map that they pick more often than not. Stake odds certainly agree, and yeah, I mean 4.4 for Brute. It's going to be really difficult to fight back into this series now.
Yeah, especially with the way that Dust 2 played out, right? Like, if it had just been like a close affair, you'd give them a shot going into the Mirage, but it was just so dominant, and we know how good Mirage is from ACEND, like the sort of game we expect from them. There has been a few maps they've lost recently, but the teams that they're losing against are teams you kind of expect them to lose against. You know, teams like Sharks, K27, Echo recently, but Echo I think have been really on upward trajectory, so I wouldn't want to count that one too much out. But yeah, for the most part, ACEND have been on a great roll on it. For Brute, they did beat Mouse NXT at Riga to get that LAN run rolling, but prior to that, definitely some struggles on this map. And again, just with the way that Dust 2 planned out, it's going to be tricky. At least A-Kit is in some great form. And on Mirage, you get that CT side. He can really make that work.
True, he could, and I do sort of believe it in the A-Kit AWP. It's just the riflers. That's the biggest thing for me when you take a look at this. I said it before we came into the game, and I'll say it again after Dust 2. Riflers were just on point for ACEND. The floor was very high, and that allowed Han to reach the heights he did alongside Red Star. What's good as well on the B stream is that 9 are fighting back in that elimination game. 666 picked or Quad 6, sorry, picked Inferno. 9 were able to beat them 13-7. So with a nuke on the horizon as well for 9 in their back pocket, that one feels like it probably should go the way of 9. But I'm glad that Quad 6 will look competitive.
That's a better way of saying it, Quad 6. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's a little bit, it was pretty close between them and ACEND on Inferno too. It was 13-8, right? So they're definitely showing up when it comes to that map. I hope they give 9 a bit of a fight on map 2. We'll keep our eyes on that one. Loser of this will be playing the winner of that. We might get that Brute and 9 rematch, which will be very exciting given how fun it was earlier. Kind of look forward to it if that is what we get. What the reverse sweep will come through. And a decider of Anubis could be forced.
Yeah, it just feels like there's too many variables that need to go right for Brute in this Mirage, because what you're relying on is expert calling, but you can somewhat get that out of Nubik. We saw a couple of instances where we got a really good mid-round out of him, but then you also need the individuals to go missing a little bit on Mirage. If you hammer that B bomb site, that means you've got to get by Kaluba, which is going to be tricky. You've got Han that is going to be incredibly versatile. And then you've got Spellan that is just creating a lot of chaos in the mid-round. What I was really impressed with Spellan is how selfless he looked, especially on that CT side. The fact that he was really willing just to sort of take risks to give the most amount of information for his stars to shine. And actually, he was the one that was getting a lot of work done. It is really impressive seeing his individual level reach the heights that we somewhat have expected over the years out of Spellan. So it was nice to see him performing. Everyone was just doing such a super job here for ACEND, and the scoreline really reflected that. I think that's why we both have got our reservations about Mirage.
Yeah, Spellan's output was actually phenomenal. That T side, he's critical kills to help set them up in a few of those rounds. And we saw how good he was with the util when it came to that A bomb site.
His swing.
Good chance we'll get that Red Star secondary AWP as well into this if the economy starts to boom on that CT side. Obviously it's a little while away. He kind of hinted that it could come out, but it's definitely something we've seen from him on this map.
It does come out occasionally, although I think it might not be as relevant here as it was on Dust 2. Yeah, 105 ADR for Spellan. I think Screamo was crucial too. I think he had a couple of missteps where he wanted to get a little bit too aggressive, but that's where ACEND were way up in the ranks. And yeah, when Nubik is at the top of the scoreboard, you pointed towards him and A-Kit being the most consistent. Need more out of Mikey. Need a lot more out of Zedco here on Mirage. At least they start on the CT side. But for ACEND, they could be one map away from making it out of this group stage. Stake have got them as the map winner favourites. Let's see if they can back it up.
For ACEND, this is looking like it's going to be an A finish through mid to get things started. A break on the smoke and oof. Han does cop a bullet. Was that his teammate? I think it might have been. Now they've managed to get a huge amount of space and put the pressure up towards short. Trying to force some movement. You can see Brute aren't really falling for it. They're keeping this A setup in play. Kaluba get an eye on Zedco then. Not entirely sure. Well, Zedco got an eye on him and he's looking for more. There is this lurk, hard set up, and there we go. The kills all come through on A instantaneously. Really felt like with that first round coming onto Kaluba that Brute were going to be set up for success on it.
That's really nice. That's really cool. Out of Ascend. We'll talk about it in a moment as Mikey will go and attempt this 1v4. There was a lot of really nice game planning for Ascend. Mikey, I'm not sure if there's a kit in front of him, but this feels a little bit out of his way anyway. He's got the smoke. He could drop that on the bomb, but 10 seconds. In fact, not even given the opportunity to drop that smoke. Nice shot on Scrimo. Oh, and Red Star, to be fair to him, but simply too far gone. Let's talk about that pistol for Ascend. Let's talk about the smoke that they throw deliberately that cuts off all of the vision from the CT side from Ticket. It allows you to scale up connector, and it also makes the CTs panic. Zedko is able to come over, get the first kill, but you've got players that step out of ramp and Palace off of that contact, and the extra element of the jungle player enough just to really unravel things. It's almost like Ascend put them in a box, and it's exactly where they want those CTs to be. That was really nice. Just that one smoke created so much chaos from Ascend.
Yeah, cool to implement the pistol round too, because a smoke and a pistol round has so much intent behind it, which is why it does become a hyper focus. Again, what have they deployed this for? This is going to be the force fire. The scout fired off in window, so I think there should be an awareness from Ascend. It is a reinforced B bomb site. We see 4 players on this lovely POV. Which means poor Hatefer on his own over here at A.